Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for today's session on developing emotional intelligence for successful performance management. We're super excited to help everybody grow as leaders to help you engage your employees. My name is Izzy. I am the Marketing and Client Care Coordinator here at Lightwork Software, but I also handle a lot of our internal employee communication and wellness. I love working with my coworkers, and I want to ensure that they have the best work environment possible so that they can succeed not only professionally, but also personally. On that note, we're going to go over the ways emotional intelligence can be used to develop great interpersonal relationships and build a strong, healthy company culture. Before I let Morgan take over, I'm going to do some quick housekeeping with you guys. If you have any questions at any point during the presentation, feel free to put them in the chat or the question box, and we'll answer them as we go. We want to help you, so literally anything, totally fine. This webinar is being recorded, and the link will be sent out in the post-webinar email, along with a survey that we'll use to raffle off a gift card. If you ever want any more information, feel free to browse our YouTube channel to watch our previous webinars or even schedule an appointment with us. With that being said, I'm going to turn it on over to Morgan, my awesome coworker. You're up, Morgan.
Perfect. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. As Izzy mentioned, my name is Morgan Lacey. I'm excited to have you here today with the Lightwork team to learn more about developing emotional intelligence. Just a quick agenda for us here today. We're going to talk about what emotional intelligence is and how it affects us as leaders and how it affects the workplace. And then we'll finish up with some quick tips on how to develop emotional intelligence and how that emotional intelligence affects performance management. So as we get started today, I want to talk a little bit about how emotional intelligence is defined. Not only is emotional intelligence about our ability to recognize and understand our own emotions, it's also about the ability to recognize and influence the emotions of those around us. Recognizing what factors drive us to act and react to different situations can help us manage our emotions more effectively. If you are not able to recognize your own emotions, you can struggle to not let them negatively impact your life. Identifying and understanding your own emotions can then allow you to determine how they make you feel, think, and behave. Being able to identify these emotions in yourself can allow you to more easily identify them in others. One of the skills of the highly emotional intelligence is co-regulation, which is effectively influencing others' emotions to improve their mood. Helping others manage their emotions allows them to tap into the reasoning side of their brain. Encouraging and supporting people can allow them to find solutions to their own problems. Now, I do want to note that unsolicited advice isn't always the best way to go, but asking people questions like, "Can I help you think about what your next step might be?" can help them feel as though they have someone who's there to help them manage and problem solve. Signs of emotional intelligence are feelings of empathy and concern for others, and the awareness of your personal strengths and limitations. Things like accepting responsibility for our mistakes and embracing change are also signs of the emotionally intelligent. I would like for everyone to keep these things in mind as we talk about developing emotional intelligence for a more successful performance management process. There are a few components of the emotionally intelligent that I think are great to keep in mind when we're trying to develop our emotional intelligence. The first being self-awareness, which we kind of covered in being able to recognize your own emotions. But self-awareness can be more than that. It's also the ability to recognize your strengths and weaknesses to allow you to better handle stress and manage time. Being self-aware also makes it a lot easier to receive feedback. A great way to work on being more self-aware at work is practicing mindfulness and also encouraging feedback from colleagues. Self-management is a big part of emotional intelligence. It's what allows us to better react and respond to emotional stressors. This allows us to be calmer and more level-headed in highly stressful personal and work situations. Social awareness can also help in personal and work situations, as socially aware people are usually described as great listeners that understand others' emotions and are able to respond to people who are in distress. Having an awareness and an understanding of the world around you allows you to take the focus off of yourself for a moment and begin to think about those around you. It really all comes down to consideration and the ability to take a second to consider how our thoughts, emotions, and actions impact others. This also affects our relationship management skills. Our ability to connect with others and ensure they feel supported and understood is what allows us to effectively lead change or manage personal relationships. Communication is essential to relationship management and can typically be the underlying reason for all relationships succeeding or failing. Developing and maintaining relationships, whether they are personal or work dynamics, can be affected by a person's lack of emotional intelligence. Keeping these four components in mind when working to develop emotional intelligence can allow leaders to create a more effective performance management process, as they are better able to communicate and manage their dynamics. So let's talk about some of the benefits that emotional intelligence bring to the workplace. The first being improved communication. Being able to regulate your own emotions as well as empathize with others to clear and more effective communication is better conflict resolution and leads to stronger relationships. These strong relationships in the workplace allow for more collaboration and support, leading to better decision making. When individuals are able to recognize and regulate their emotions, they're less likely to make impulsive or irrational decisions. They are also better equipped to weigh the pros and cons of a situation before taking action. Emotional intelligence can also help individuals manage their own emotions, leading to reduced stress levels and improved mental health. And I think that everyone here can agree that your mental health can have a huge impact on your work and your relationships. Employees with high emotional intelligence are better able to navigate interpersonal relationships, communicate effectively, and handle conflict resolution. This can lead to an increased productivity, job satisfaction, and overall success in the workplace. Managers with high emotional intelligence are often better able to inspire and motivate their teams, while also providing constructive feedback and support. They're better able to understand the needs and the concerns of their employees and can adapt their leadership style accordingly. Which leads us into our first poll here today for our group. So do you think that emotional intelligence affects workplace dynamics? We'll open those polls for everybody and give everybody a little time to answer those for us.
All right, it looks about halfway everybody's voted here. I'm just going to give it a couple more seconds to let everybody get their votes in. It looks like everybody voted yes.
Awesome. Well, I kind of figured that would be the case. I think everybody can understand, the self-awareness, the management and things like that, and how that goes into workplace dynamics. So thank you so much, Izzy. All righty, so we're going to talk about a little bit about what it means to be a highly emotional, intelligent leader. Being a leader requires a lot of different skills, but I think the ability to be able to look for and recognize the good in others is essential when it comes to being a leader. It can help build trust, respect, and positive relationships within a team or organization. Recognizing the contributions of team members can boost morale and motivation, and acknowledge the strengths of team members can lead to better collaboration and problem solving. By consciously acknowledging the goodness in others, leaders can create a workplace culture that values and celebrates diversity, inclusivity, and positivity. When leaders are constantly learning and growing, they're more likely to be excited about their work and motivated to achieve their goals. This can translate into increased productivity, better decision making, and a more positive work environment. A commitment to continual self-growth allows leaders to develop new skills, stay current in their field, and improve their ability to lead and inspire others. It also demonstrates a willingness to learn and adapt, which can foster a culture of growth and development within their organization. A commitment to self-growth is essential for leaders who want to be successful in today's fast-paced business environment. By staying curious, learning new skills, and adapting to change, leaders can inspire their teams to achieve great things and drive organizations forward. Highly emotional, intelligent leaders also practice empathy. Practicing empathy as a leader is important because it helps you understand and connect with your team members on a deeper level. When you empathize, you acknowledge their feelings and perspectives, which can foster a sense of trust and respect. This also allows you to create a more positive and productive work environment where team members feel valued and supported. And additionally, empathy can help you make better decisions as you're more likely to consider the impact your actions have on others. So now I want to talk a little bit about we talked a little bit about the benefits and the signs of emotional intelligence. I want to talk a little bit about how we can all work to develop our emotional intelligence. I think the first one is something that a lot of people struggle with, and that's being honest about their weaknesses. But being honest about your weaknesses is important because it helps you identify areas where you need improvement. It also allows others to understand your limitations and helps provide support or accommodations if necessary. Additionally, acknowledging your weaknesses can demonstrate humility and a willingness to learn, which can build trust and credibility with others. Acknowledging your weaknesses can also help you develop a growth mindset, which is the belief that you can improve your abilities through hard work and dedication. By recognizing areas where you struggle, you can set goals for improvement and develop strategies for overcoming obstacles. This can lead to a greater self-awareness and a stronger sense of self-confidence. It is important to note that acknowledging your weaknesses doesn't mean you should dwell on them or let them define you. Instead, use your weaknesses as an opportunity for growth and development. Seek out resources and support to help you improve these areas, and remember that everyone has weaknesses and areas for improvement. Being honest about your weaknesses and actively working to improve can make you become a more stronger and well-rounded individual. With that comes being open to change. Being open to change is important because it allows you to adapt and grow in response to new situations and challenges. It can help you learn new skills, expand your perspective, and improve your ability to handle uncertainty. Being open to change also promotes a positive attitude and can lead to greater opportunities for personal and professional development. Being open to change requires a willingness to step out of your comfort zone and embrace new experiences. It may not always be easy, but the rewards can be significant. I think one of the most beneficial ways to develop emotional intelligence is making an effort to connect. Making an effort to connect with others is important because it leads to a stronger relationship, improved communication, and a greater sense of belonging. Connecting with others can also provide opportunities for personal growth, learning, and collaboration. Connecting with others can also improve your communication skills. We learn to listen more effectively, express ourselves more clearly, and understand others' perspectives. So that leads us into how to build rewarding professional relationships. First is mindful listening, which involves being fully present and engaged in the conversation without distraction or preconceived notions. Mindful listening helps to improve communication, builds trust, and promotes understanding between individuals. It also enables individuals to validate each other's feelings and perspectives, which can lead to stronger emotional connections. Overall, mindful listening can help to foster healthy, fulfilling relationships. Next is managing boundaries. Managing boundaries in a professional relationship is important because it establishes a clear framework of how individuals should interact with each other. It helps prevent misunderstandings, conflicts of interest, and inappropriate behavior. Effective boundary management promotes mutual respect, trust, and professionalism, which are all vital to establishing positive and productive working relationships. And last, I think one of the most important, for me at least, in the professional dynamic is following through with commitments. This is crucial because it helps build trust and credibility with our colleagues and superiors, demonstrates reliability and professionalism, and contributes to the overall success of a team and organization. I'm sure that everyone here today has experienced the frustration of lack of reliability in a work environment, and it really can tarnish a professional dynamic quickly. If you're looking to have rewarding professional relationships, these are 3 great things to keep in mind as you work to develop yourself personally and professionally. I have mentioned communication several times today and how crucial it is to developing emotional intelligence. So I want to review the elements of effective communication. I don't think the 3 things that I have listed here are a surprise to anyone. Trust helps build strong relationships, fosters open and honest dialogue, and promotes a sense of mutual respect and understanding between all parties involved. Without trust, communication can be hindered by skepticism, doubt, and uncertainty, making it difficult to convey messages effectively and achieve desired outcomes. Respect is an important element of effective communication because it helps create a positive and productive environment where people feel valued and heard. When we show respect to others, we are more likely to listen to their ideas, understand their perspectives, and communicate in a constructive and collaborative manner. This can lead to better relationships, increased trust, and more successful outcomes for both personal and professional settings. Empathy is an element of effective communication because it allows you to understand and relate to the emotions and perspective and experiences of others. By showing empathy, you can build trust, establish rapport, and create safe and positive communication climate. Keeping these 3 things top of mind when communicating can help develop your emotional intelligence. All right, on to our next poll. Of the 3 elements that we've discussed today, which were trust, empathy, and respect, which one do you think is important or the most important for effective communication? We'll open up those polls to everybody and let everybody answer.
Looks like we have about half of everybody answered. Just going to give it another couple seconds for everybody else to get their votes in. All right, it does look like most people said both trust and respect.
Right. Well, I do think both of those things, and I'm sure everybody here today has not had one of those things as far as effective communication in their workplace or in their personal lives. I feel like with respect comes a lot of trust because someone can trust that you're listening to them and you're seeing their perspective and you're there to collaborate and support them, whether that is personal or professional. And I think those things have a huge effect on your relationship with somebody. And I will say effective communication is really what creates or destroys what a relationship can be. So that is good to know. Thank you everybody so much for answering us. All right. One-on-ones can be intimidating for both parties. So I want to share a few things that your team can keep in mind as they set aside time to meet one-on-one with other team members. Listening seems like such an obvious part of a meeting, but for some people, it does not come naturally. It's crucial to listen and gather details and perspective before delegating tasks or setting timelines. Without active listening, a meeting can end up being counterproductive and lead to miscommunication and frustration. It's also important that the feedback in one-on-one meetings is forward-focused, as this allows all involved to focus on how to improve future performance rather than dwelling on past mistakes. By identifying specific areas for improvement and providing actionable steps to achieve them, forward-focused feedback helps individuals and teams to grow and develop their skills. It also fosters a more positive and productive work environment by emphasizing progress and growth rather than criticism and blame. And last, we have undivided attention, which helps to ensure that all participants understand the discussion and can contribute effectively. When attention is divided, important details and ideas might be missed, and the quality of the discussion may suffer. Additionally, giving someone your full attention shows respect and can help build stronger relationships. Keeping these three things in mind when meeting one-on-one with peers or team members can help create a more positive and productive dynamic. To me, there is a clear difference between a boss and a leader, and I have experienced both in the past, and it has a major effect on morale and my productivity. So I want to review why these differences are so important. I don't think anyone is going to be surprised that collaboration is important in the workplace, but having a leader that is collaborative allows their team to be creative, productive, and innovative. The support a leader gives to their team allows them to earn respect instead of demanding it based on their role. Bosses who choose to control their team and have unrealistic expectations are going to end up with a negative work environment with increased stress and lower job satisfaction. This may also affect their team's ability to grow professionally. Leading a team of people isn't always easy, but making the effort to be a leader and not a boss can make all the difference. And this definitely has effect on the performance management process, and people being willing to embrace it is the dynamic that they have with the person that they answer to, and whether they're a boss or whether they're a leader, and what that looks like for them as far as working together to collaborate or just demanding and having no insight. So just something I wanted to talk a little bit about, because we talked a lot about being a leader with emotional intelligence. So I want to talk a little bit about the difference between a leader and a boss. Alrighty. As we get wrapped up here today, I want to talk a little bit about the elements of emotional intelligence in performance management. The performance management process is something that most people dread because it feels like more of an opportunity to criticize than an opportunity to grow. But if you incorporate these three elements into the performance management process, all parties are more likely to engage and participate. Set goals that guide employees and provide recognition that encourages and empowers them. The performance management process can be used to set clear expectations and give employees the information they need to manage their own time and their own tasks. Providing surveys to learn more about employees can allow leaders the insight they need to have stronger relationships and improve communication with their employees. I've talked in our past webinars about surveys and how important those are with engaging employees. One of the things that I've mentioned before is engaging new hires and learning about their preference for feedback. So I do think that is good insight and something that all leaders should kind of keep in mind as they bring someone new onto their team is learn about that employee, learn more about what is the best way for them to retain information, to learn new things, to participate. What do they feel are their strengths and their weaknesses? Because once you know more about your employees, then you can guide them, encourage them, and empower them in a way that's best for them and more productive for your team. So emotional intelligence and performance management do go hand in hand in the sense of the purpose for performance management should be to guide and encourage and empower, because then you're going to have a team of people who want that for themselves as well. So as leaders, the ability to guide and encourage and empower people, having the tools to do so, I think is very important. I think a lot of the performance management tools, whether it's setting goals, providing surveys, or even annual reviews, are such an important part of supporting and collaborating with an employee if it's done correctly. If you'd like to learn more about the performance management process and all the best practices, as Izzy mentioned, we do have a YouTube channel that has all of our past webinars. We talk about goal setting, engaging with surveys, documentation, and all the different things that kind of go along with the performance management process. So definitely check those out if you're interested. And of course, if you have any questions about them, please feel free to reach out to us. All right, our last slide for today. I want to share some quick tips for leaders who want to incorporate emotional intelligence into their workforce. I think these are great things for anyone to do in their everyday life, but as a leader, I think it's important to give your team the ability to express themselves without interruption. I know that isn't always convenient, but it's considerate, and it's what we would want in return. And I also know that it isn't always easy to put yourself into someone else's shoes, but the empathy and the perspective it provides can be a game changer in guiding and decision making. Working to develop emotional intelligence can provide the skills and dynamics that allow your team to embrace and support the performance management process, because they know their leaders are going to be actively listening and they're going to be there to be collaborative and encouraging. All right, guys, that was it for today. Thank you so much for joining the Lightwork team. I hope you enjoyed our presentation today, and join us here again every month to learn more about best practices in performance management. If you'd like to learn more about the Lightwork Performance Management Solution and the tools that it provides to leaders to engage and support their team, please follow the scheduling link following this presentation. Just a reminder, don't forget to fill out our survey. That's going to be in the follow-up email as a chance to enter our raffle. We love getting feedback from you guys. It is definitely appreciated on my end as a presenter, just to learn what I can be doing better and also what you guys want to learn about. That's really what we're here for. We want to research and gather what's going to help you guys be more efficient and effective leaders and employees and team members, and how performance management can help you do that. So thank you so much, everybody. I hope you have a great rest of your week.